Hello, everyone. I hope that you are having a good Friday and the end of a Friday heading into Shabbat as we enter into the Torah portion of Nasso. It is the second Torah portion in the book of Numbers, and it has definitely some complicated nature to it. It continues the transition from the first Torah portion of the census and the continued counting of the Israelite population. Last week we got specific numbers from each tribe. This week there's some more specific counting, and then there are a couple of specific connections within the Torah portion that remind us of what it means to be counted, what it means to be part of a community, certain behaviors that should and shouldn't be done. It goes into lots of specifics about each of those in this week's Torah portion of Naso. Behind me, you can see the image. It is of Samson. If you know the story of Samson, he was a Nazarite, and the reason I put the image up here is because one of the sort of foundational concepts that is found in Nassau is the idea of being a Nazarite. And a Nazarite is someone who commits wholeheartedly, almost in a an overzealous way, to commit to something, and then once you do, then you are known as a Nazarite. And so Samson's mother made this particular oath, which connected her to be a Nazarite, which then made Samson be a Nazarite. And so there's a very interesting story about him and this gigantic pillar that he's pushing at to conquer the Philistines. And so this is why the image is behind me about Nazarite laws. I think we can agree that the last weeks have been very troubling about what we're hearing in the news, particularly most more recently in Boulder, and what's happening in the world around us. And so uh, I'm certainly not saying that we have to engage in Nazarite law because, as I said, those are pretty overzealous, and the commitment is a little bit maybe too far and too extreme. But I will invite us to certainly be hyper focused on the world around us, be hyper focused on the unbelievably high and quick rise of anti-Semitism, which has been around us, unfortunately, for a very long time, but particularly right now, that the things we are seeing in our world. And so I'll invite us to engage in this oath quest that is in the idea of the Nazarites, not at the level in which, like I said, the system asks us to within the Torah portion, but to make a promise to say, I am going to fully engage in finding ways to combat this anti-Semitism sentiment around us, the anti-Israel sentiment, that we'll do some research and find out who in the media is speaking badly of Israel, who in the media is speaking in an undertone of anti-Semitism. And I don't mean just in the social media. I mean what's happening maybe on TV, what's happening from certain musical artists or actors or actresses, that we will have a dialogue with ourselves about, do we want to support them because their statements are anti-Semitic, they are anti-Israel, and many of them are completely made up and fabricated because they're just following the masses, if you will, that is pushing on social media. So I'll ask all of us on the Shabbat to engage in making a promise to ourselves that we can and will find ways to strengthen ourselves. And by doing that, we can combat a lot of what's happening around us negatively in the world. So Shabbat services are, as usual, around the corner. They are at 6:30. Tomorrow, just so you know, there's no 8:30 service. There is a 10 a.m. service and a 12 p.m. service. So again, there's no 8:30 service, just as a reminder. Let's continue to find ways to make those internal promises for ourselves about our own personal things and also collectively for our community. And of course, also let's try and put as much shalom as we can into our Shabbat. We'll see you soon.